good in person.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's solid, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
I'm digging it.
So you're doing the Brock CT, clutch mod, quick shifter, oil mods, and then tuning, really. I'm excited about this one. I really am. We got the Brock CT in for this thing. We're doing oil mods, we're doing Brock's clutch mods. He also wants us to install a light kit. We have a fender eliminator kit. We have frame sliders, rear spools. Again, just a lot of little things that are kind of adding up, but no matter what, we're excited. We're gonna baseline this thing completely stock. I love doing bikes like this. I love them when they're stock, because now you get to see the total transformation, what one does on the showroom floor versus what it's gonna do when it's leaving here. I love transformations like this. Oh, just remember, we're doing a quick shifter also, and we're doing the Sprint P08 Air Filter. So it's gonna cover a lot of things. This is gonna be a great bolt-on bike for anybody like for the street. This is gonna be super fun for the owner. I can't wait till he gets it back. I'm excited. Anniversary edition. This paint scheme, I'll admit, wasn't a fan in the pictures and in the videos. I didn't like it. Seeing it in person, different story. The frame is powder coated. The subframe is powder coated. The swing arm is powder coated. They all have this titanium style like kind of coat to it. It's badass. We love it. We haven't seen that before. If you notice, all the other ZX-14Rs, all the frames, we'll look at my bike real quick, but all of them are this, you know, it's still a nice matte black, but they're all black. Now I have an aftermarket subframe and an aftermarket swing arm, but no matter what, they all come black. So seeing that frame is definitely pretty cool, definitely different. I love it. It's a cool bike. There's really not much else to say. It's definitely a cool bike, and we can't wait to start modifying it. Curious to see what this titanium exhaust is going to look like with that frame and everything. It's going to be cool. I'm excited, guys. Stay with us. This is going to be a cool one.
Tell us what you think this is going to make. Tell us down below. I think Lewis already guessed 176. I said 172, which I think it's going to be right in that range. I would agree. So, but tell us what you guys think it's going to lay out down below. Tell us what you think it's going to baseline. 2024 ZX-14R, 100% stock. I think he quite literally just did the service on it. Let's see how many miles are on it real quick before we fire it up. 146. Nah, that can't be right. It is. 146 miles. And we're voiding warranties. So Lewis was actually much closer than me. I definitely guessed pretty low for this thing. I underestimated it, admittedly, but I'd rather underestimate than overestimate, to be honest with you. So we actually landed out with 179.79. That was our best one. So 109 foot-pounds of torque and really consistent curves. All in all, they pretty much overlap each other perfectly. Same thing with the air fuels. So we have a lean mixture down low, it gets close, and then it gets pretty lean again around the 5,500 mark. Actually 5K to 6K, it's pretty lean, and then it just goes pig rich down into 12, low 12, and then it stays pretty rich there on out. You know, it's not bad, honestly. It's pretty damn good for a stock map. I'd be pretty happy with this all in all. It's not horrible. I've seen worse. Honestly, I am super stoked to get into this thing and to start modifying it. I'm excited. I can't deny it. Like, I'm really excited again. I love doing this stuff. I love taking it and transforming it, turning into something much faster and much cooler than what it is now, and putting that special touch on it. We love it. Can't deny it. This is definitely a dream job. So anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoy this video. We're gonna start breaking it down here in the next really soon. Lewis has got quite a few things right now, but this is going to go on the lift. We're actually going to try to knock out the ZX-10R head so that we can get the ZX-10 off the lift and get this bad boy on there and start plugging away at it. So very excited for this. Stay tuned. This is going to be a cool one. Here we go. Lewis got the fairings all stripped off this thing. So the fairings are all stripped, the oil is drained, everything looks good in the oil so far. We need to, we're gonna pour it and kind of filter it out just to make sure everything looks okay. This is obviously a very low mileage. The owner did request us to do the oil change and check it over while it's here. So that is something that we're including in all of this. Everything looks great so far. Again, there's really not much to see. It's just a stripped down version, you know, without the plastics. So just to walk you guys through it, you have a lower plastic, a mid plastic here, and then you also have gills that run across here, and then you have an upper piece that goes up here, and then you have a side piece that covers here, this side panel cover here. So here's where your evap canister goes, right here. So this actually, we might be, I might be removing this for the customer because this is all emission stuff. So we'll probably end up taking all these hoses out. There's a long one here that goes back to the tank. This one goes up to the throttle body assembly, so this one we're gonna cap off. The evap canister is actually in the fairing, and it's big. It's a big ass canister. It's pretty large. So, and it weighs a little bit. You know, every little bit adds up on these bikes. These are freaking. These are heavy, man. These are land yachts for sure. So we try to delete what we can while we're in here for customers. So what we're gonna do next on the bike though is since Lewis already got the oil drain, we are going to, quite honestly, we're gonna start stripping everything off. So the exhaust is gonna come off next. The clutch kit's gonna come out next so that we have access to the oil pump or the oil pump cover. And then, okay, so after the exhaust, after the clutch, after all that jazz is coming out, we're also gonna drop the oil pan so we can get to the oil relief valve, and we're gonna swap that out to the high pressure oil relief valve. And we also have the billet plate that we're gonna put on there. And then the exhaust. So once we do all of that jazz, we put it all back together, then the clutch mod's also gonna go in simultaneously. Then we're gonna put the Brock CT on after that. We have the quick shifter that we're gonna install, and then the sprint filter. So all of that primarily is gonna be done on the other side. Let's see, let's take a peek. Yeah, so yeah, you got quite a bit done. Yeah, this is, I mean, honestly guys, for considering we only had about 30 minutes of time left, Lewis crushed it today. He did a hell of a job. I'm honestly really proud, really happy with how far he's come along today. Did a lot of work today. So that goes a long way with me, and that means the world to me. So everything looks great. I love brand new bikes. Look at this. There's not even a speck of dirt on this crap. That is crazy. These are the kind of bikes I wish I was working on 5 years ago, 7 years ago. So for those of you who are out there kind of like starting out, if you will, like kind of newer to this, and you're working on some of those bikes that, quite honestly, you know, the older bikes that are gumped up, I feel your pain. I've been there, I've done it 100 times. We still do it on some of these bikes. Some of these bikes that come in there are older and they're dirty and shit like that. But, you know, but man, I gotta tell you, it's worth it, guys. Keep pushing out there. For all you small business guys, shade tree mechanics, whatever you want to call yourselves, keep pushing. Eventually you'll get there. You know, we're still getting there day by day. I still don't feel like we've made it, but keep pushing. So eventually you can start working on some brand new shit like this, and it's awesome. I can't even deny it. It's badass. There's not dirt, there's not a bunch of shit in the way. It's a stock OEM bike, and it's all brand new. I love it. I love working on bikes like this. We will update you guys the further we get along with the bike. As we're removing all this stuff, I'm gonna do a much better job of data logging and getting the shots that you guys wanna see, because last time, admittedly, I did miss some of it because Lewis, quite honestly, he was on a roll, and I was on the dyno, so I missed a lot. So this time, I'm gonna make sure I film it for you guys. I know that was requested quite a few times in that old video that we took, so we're gonna do a better job for you guys, all right? We have the clutch assembly out right here. So that's the pressure plate, the clutch hub nut, the outer basket, inner basket, the full clutch assembly. All of that comes out, bloop, like so. And then behind it, this is the oil pump. So he's already swapped the cover out. So this is the billet plate. We are utilizing the OEM oil pump gear still. But this is the billet plate, and then we're also doing the relief valve. It's gonna go up underneath here. So this rail basically pops out. There's O-rings in there, so this rail pops out, and then the, oh, here it is. So, and here is the new pressure relief valve. This is a billet one. This is the high oil pressure relief valve. So here's what it is. You can order this through a couple different people, but we also carry these as well. These are kind of common jobs that we do, so we carry these. Basically, this goes like that. And so what you're gonna have to do though, we're gonna have to put some red Loctite on this one before Lewis installs it. So it's nice and stuck, it ain't going anywhere. So we'll set that there for him. And that's about it. We got the exhaust all off. Here's the exhaust here. We got a header and the two massive canisters there. And yeah, so right now he's applying a little bit of blue Loctite to the threads. We're gonna put those in and then we're gonna torque them to spec. So just OEM spec is fine. And that's what we're doing right now. So that's what Lewis is doing right now. So once that's basically all torqued in, the clutch assembly is gonna go back into the bike. And once that's back all in, he's gonna also do the oil pan, reinstall the oil pan, clutch cover, all that jazz is gonna go back on. And then we're gonna install the full Brox exhaust. I'm gonna help him install the Heel Tech quick shifter because that is a fun job, getting behind all of that and cramming your hand between the top of the valve cover and the frame of the motor. There's not a lot of room in there, so it's kind of a painstaking, yeah. Got them long hands. This side's a little easier to get into, so for the most part, we're doing cylinders 1 through 3 on this side pretty much, and we're only gonna hit that outside one on that side. So it's again, pretty difficult to get your hand all up in there. There's a bunch of stuff in there. So we busted our ass today, and well, Lewis really busted his ass today. I helped him out like this much, like I typically do. I give him a helping hand here and there, but I think it looks killer. I think the Brox CT, the full titanium, with this the way this bike basically plays off the color scheme, I think it's gonna look so freaking cool. Once this color comes in for the titanium exhaust, I think it's going to be killer. Now, we do need to wipe it up. There's still some little smudges here and there, but all in all, you get the idea, you get the gist. We're gonna have to top off the oil whenever we fire it all up. We put the new oil pressure relief valve in. You guys saw the plate that's behind the clutch. We have the full CT on. We have the quick shifter installed. Now, like I said earlier, it is a nightmare. Lewis routed it down the right-hand side, which is great, honestly. I love the routing on this, and it's by the ground, the main ground. So these are the main battery grounds over here. And it looks killer. I love it. So we're utilizing that for the ground for the quick shifter, and then the harness is routed up through here, and it's gonna come up here and sit right there up in the top. So it looks good. I like it. I love the placement. I love where you put it. This is all ready to go to be flashed and tuned. The other kicker is he also brought us his fender eliminator kit. So Lewis got this all on also. So it's looking great. We got air filter, quick shifter, full exhaust, fender eliminator. We got to do the light kit. He did bring us a light kit, so we got to install the light kit. And I want to say that's it. Then we got to do the tune. We got the ZX-14R on the dyno. Now we are going to re-baseline it. So we're just going to run it as she sits. I'm not going to make any modifications to the mapping. I'm not going to make any modifications to anything. Let's see what this thing's going to baseline out at with all the new upgrades. Let's see what she does. Let's look at the exhaust. This is my favorite part. So we're starting to get a little bit of color, a little bit of gold. Here we got a little bit of purple right here at the collector. That's usually where the color starts to occur first. The bike came out awesome, guys. Let's look at some of these numbers. So here's where we're at with, so we got the stock baseline is in blue. That was the 179.87. That's what we got, which is gonna be this blue line here. So blue line, this is what we were receiving, or this is what the graph looked like, sorry. This is what the graph looked like, completely stock, was the blue line. So up top here, just by swapping the exhaust out, we actually picked up 15 wheel horsepower just from the exhaust swap. Then picked up a little bit, oh, and the air filter as well. This is an air filter. So this was air filter, exhaust, oil mods, clutch mods. I mean, those things don't really add horsepower. The oil mods and the clutch mods, they're just there for more of a safety net, and more for, you know, clutch longevity, better grabbing, just a lot of other benefits, but not necessarily for power, okay? We picked up a little power in the mid-range here. We picked up about 5 wheel in the mid-range, 6,700 RPM. And then we actually lost a little down low, which is kind of to be expected with the bigger exhaust systems, the more airflow. You're gonna lose a little bit down low, like with that initial hit. You know, we haven't flashed it or anything. This was just with the exhaust and the air filter all installed. So still pretty good gains all in all, really good gains. And then now we'll lay over the full dyno tune. We brought that lower end power band back up to basically what stock was. We're about 2 foot-pounds of torque off. So we lost about 2 foot-pounds at the low end, and we lost 1 horsepower compared to stock, okay? Now here is the stab. It's an aggressive stab. But we gained power everywhere else. So from literally about 5,000 RPM and on, we picked up nothing but power. So we extended the RPM limiter up a little bit too. And we ended up, the peak power final was 202 with 118 foot-pounds of torque. So all in all, he's leaving with an additional, what, about 22 horsepower roughly? You know, something like that, 22, 23, 22 and a half, something like that, 23 horsepower. Not bad. Not bad at all. And then here's 10,600 RPM, right? That's what we're targeting, 10,600 RPM. If you look at the graph here, we went from 175 to 200 wheels. So we picked up 25 wheel horsepower at 10,600 RPM. That's gonna be insanely noticeable. And here, we'll pick one more point here. We'll pick 8,000 RPM. So this is still like a usable range. I would say this is a good area that people still ride in, is around 8,000 RPM. I would confidently say this is a good RPM range that people spend in. So we went from 162 to 177. So we picked up what, 15, yeah, about 15 wheel, 14 and a half wheel horsepower. Again, massive gains. Very, very happy. Yeah, we had a little blip here. We'll check out the air fuel. I don't mind. So we had a little blip here at 8,500 RPM, which it was not consistent. So whenever we see an inconsistent reading such as that, so look, here's a run right before that. We actually made 201 right before that, right? Now, this was the same map. We did not change anything in the map. This was the same map, but notice now, let me take off these other runs so you guys can see this. I wanna show you this actually. I always like teaching you guys at least something every video. I like to kind of show something and teach you guys. So notice on our final pull, we had this blip here, right? We had this little blip that hit like 13.5 or 13.7. Okay, so 13.7 even, it hit 13.7. Now notice on the same exact, literally the same map. See, notice it's the same curve. I like to do back-to-back runs, like 2 or 3 of them, to make sure that we're getting consistent power and consistent torque, meaning that everything is good in the motor and everything is solid with the tune. You know, we only have literally a 1 horsepower and a half a foot-pound of torque difference, but notice the AFRs. Again, same map. Now notice that same point, we're at a 13.3. So that's a 4% difference roughly, and it's the same point on the graph with no changes. So even the down low, it's a little bit smoother here, it's a little bit closer on the stab. So again guys, we notice things like this, these things happen. So what we like to do, overall we saw a lean mixture. We added an extra couple of percentage of fuel, you know, just to be safe, and then we let the bike go, because a little blip at a very, very short amount of time is not going to necessarily affect the bike where it's going to let go or something like that. So it is on the higher RPM range, and we do take care of little things like that where we add a few extra percentage to make sure that we stay in a safe zone, and then we let the rest just be, be the way it is. So, and then up top we're at 12.9, 12.8 up top, so a nice safe air fuel up top. You know, I like to be conservative with a lot of these street bikes, so I usually run them just a little bit richer up top. Just so again we have that longevity. So we also calibrated the quick shifter. I'm sure you could see it in the video. In the beginning it's really touchy. These Heel-Tech quick shifters, honestly, a lot of people order them and they think they're just plug and play, and really they're not, guys. These are the type of quick shifters you have to calibrate them. All right, I've heard it from multiple people now that have watched our videos, and they've reached out to us saying, hey, I've installed the Heel-Tech and it's shitty, it doesn't work. And it's like, well, yeah, you know, you have to be by the book. There's certain torque specs that you have to make sure are accurate when you install it. And then not only that, but you also have to calibrate it, and you got to calibrate it correctly. If you don't have it calibrated correctly, it's not going to work. But it's a Bluetooth, it's an app, or it's via Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. It's through the app. It's super easy, guys. But anyway, you have to calibrate it in order for it to work correctly. So, and I'm sure in the video you guys can kind of hear how clean the shifting is once we got it all dialed in. So it's I don't know, it's a really good shifter. I like it. I think it's a good bang for your buck, if you will, so we use it. All right, guys, well, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you could, please give us a comment down below. Tell us what you think of our content. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate it. The support goes a long way. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much so far for the support you have shown us. We love it. We love all the love, all the comments, all the feedback, even the negative ones. All you guys, we love you too. Don't worry. You're included in this. We'll see you on another episode. Peace.